Shalom YouTube. Hey guys, it's Fletch. Welcome back to OTH. So we're looking at the Kubota BX25 again, and I just texted the brother that I borrowed this from, letting him know that it was all washed up, greased, and ready for him to pick up. And that reminded me of a topic that I don't think probably gets talked about enough anymore, and I don't think that a lot of the younger generation knows, understands, or cares about. So in the light of that, I thought I would share that when you borrow equipment from someone, you return it in as good or better condition than what it was when you borrowed it. So as an example, that backhoe bucket there, that thing was jam-packed full of clay that I could hardly get out. I literally had to pry it out of there with a pry bar to get the clay out of there. But what message is that sending to the brother that lent this to me if I return it to him and he has to do all that work? Or if I didn't take the time to grease the zerks for him and, you know, just returned it to him, you know, just a big old muddy mess and more work for him. And this also reminds me, those of you that aren't aware of these things, because I'm sure that there are some, or you don't care, and that's just simply that if you expect people to want to borrow things to you, to lend things to you, then you need to take care of their stuff. I've actually had people tell me, hey, don't lend any of your stuff to that guy because number one, he won't return it, you'll have to go get it, and number two, when you go to get it, it'll be broken, and you know, he won't have any idea how it got broke or whatever. And so you know, just be aware of those things, and you know, be a good, decent person and take care of something. And you know, if something breaks, then you need to fix it. As an example, if I would have, you know, gashed one of his tires and the tire wouldn't hold air anymore, then I would take on the responsibility of either having that fixed or paying for it when he had it fixed, because that was the wear and tear that I directly put on it. This also reminds me of a good object lesson, or a tale, or whatever you want to call it, of two brothers. There were two brothers, and they were you know, about 18 months apart. And when one brother asked to borrow his father's car, he always said yes. When the other brother asked, he seldom said yes. And on a couple of occasions, one of the brothers would ask to use it, and then the other brother would ask, and then his father would, you know, allow the one that he preferred over the other to use it. And many years go by, and so this other son thinks that his brother, or excuse me, rather that his dad was playing favorites, and he preferred him over his brother. And so one day this brother was talking to his dad, and he says, you know, I gotta know, this really upsets me. You know, when Bob asked to borrow your car, you always say yes. When I asked to borrow it, you seldom do. And even on occasion, I asked permission to use it, and you let Bob use it instead when you had previously given me permission to use it. And, you know, I just gotta let you know, I'm really upset about this, and, you know, it's scarred me for life, right? So the father looks at him and he says, well, you know, the first 3 or 4 times that you borrowed my car, I told you don't bring it back dirty with an empty tank, and make sure you're taking care of my car. He says, every time that you bring back my car, it's empty. As a matter of fact, you know, it's run out of gas in the driveway as you were pulling in before, and you didn't offer to pay for the gas. You didn't put any gas in it. You got it stuck once and brought it back filthy dirty. And, you know, Bob never does any of those things. Bob has my car back when I tell him it needs to be back. It's always full of gas when he brings it back. Not only is it never dirty, but he usually washes it for me. So put yourself in my situation. Who would you rather lend your car to? You or Bob? So hopefully that's a blessing to someone out there. We'll talk to you soon. Shalom.